The Baltimore Orioles Boston Red Sox series, sponsorship presented by Chevrolet. The fans make their way into friendly Fenway Park for Game 3 of a 4-game series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. We'll look at the Red Sox lineup, and back in there at DH today is David Ortiz. And after kind of a slow start, Jerry, it seems like he's coming on.
Yeah, average-wise, a slow start for David Ortiz. He missed some in spring training. He didn't play a lot down there, and he got off to a little bit of a slow start in that first road trip. But yesterday, I thought, was the best day that he had at the plate. And the reason I say that is because he used the whole field. And the very first at-bat against Tillman goes to the opposite field. And that's when David's really swinging the bat well, when he's using the whole ballpark. Ground ball back up the middle, so you got left field, you got center field, and in his final at bat, he lines one to right field, ends up getting a double out of it. So I thought, from the first game of the season, yesterday was probably the best day he's had offensively so far this season without hitting a home run. And I think his balance is starting to get there. I think his timing is starting to get there. So maybe now David can take off.
Well, the Red Sox looking for some more consistency from their starting pitching as we move along. And today, Rick Porcello will be on the mound for the Red Sox. He comes in at 1-1 with a 3.86 earned run average. He'll make his third start in a Red Sox uniform when we come back to Fenway. Scion TC. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Uno's, committed to the craft of pizza since 1943. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. Your local Subaru dealers. The all-new Kia Sorento. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Patrick Watson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave and the home of the brave.
Now back here at Fenway Park as the Red Sox and Orioles get ready for Game 3 of the series. The Red Sox have taken the field today as we check out the lineup today for the visiting Baltimore Orioles on Junior Announcer Day from Fenway.
Thanks, Mr. Ursillo. I'm Shane from Attleboro. Leading off for the Orioles, the shortstop Everett Cabrera, the DH Jimmy Paredes, in center field Adam Jones, the first baseman Chris Davis, in left field Delman Young, in right field Travis Snyder, the third baseman Manny Machado, the second baseman Ryan Flaherty, and batting ninth the catcher Caleb Joseph.
Nice job, Shane. Today's Red Sox starting pitcher is presented by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 today. Rick Porcello's third start in a Red Sox uniform, 1-1 with a 3.86 earned run average, 10 Ks to 3 walks, and opponents hitting at just 185 against the tall right-hander. Last time out, a victory against the Washington Nationals here at Fenway Park. 8 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned, striking out 6 and walking a batter.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They've made 9 errors in 11 games. Pablo Sandoval will be at third base. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop. Brock Holt at second, and Mike Napoli the first baseman. Left to right, Hanley Ramirez, Mookie Betts, and Shane Victorino. And Sandy Leone gets the start behind the plate, catching Porcello.
Umpiring crew today, Paul Emmel has a play with Andy Fletcher at first base, John Tompani at second base, and Jerry Meals, the crew chief, is the umpire at third. The weather is brought to you by Benjamin Moore. Temperature has dropped significantly down to 50 degrees. Breeze in from right at 11 miles per hour. And the forecast partly cloudy for the remainder of the day. Right now, blue skies above Fenway Park. But it has cooled off here in the last 24 hours or so. And the Red Sox and Orioles playing day baseball today, morning baseball, of course, tomorrow to wrap up this 4-game series. So Everett Cabrera makes his way to the plate to get it started, as Rick Porcello getting his second start in a Red Sox uniform at Fenway Park. Cabrera coming in hitting at .273 with no homers and a run batted in. Orioles with a victory here yesterday, now 6-5 on the year. First pitch of the ball game in there for strike one, and we're underway. Red Sox at 7-4, sitting atop the American League East standings to start the day. And see the numbers for Cabrera coming in with a 5-gamer. Porcello in his career against the Orioles, 3-5 with a 4.28 earned run average. Orioles have hit him pretty well, 294 as a team. 9 career starts against Baltimore previously. Swing and a miss, and Cabrera tardy on that fastball at 92.
And Porcello keeping that fastball away from Cabrera, gets the swing and miss. Cabrera right now is hitting 5 straight games. Looks like he lost the grip on the bat on that swing.
Ground ball softly by the mound as charging is Holt. The throw in time gets Cabrera.
Well, for a second, it looked like Porcello might get there, but the ball gets by him, and standing right behind him is Brock Holt. There's Holt putting the charge on the ball, goes to the glove, the transfer to the throwing hand, and a nice, easy flip to first base, one that's pretty easy to handle for Mike Napoli from a tough angle.
One down here in the first inning. It brings up Jimmy Paredes, activated from the DL yesterday. 2 for 5 in the ball game yesterday. Second start in a row now for Paredes. And a swing and a miss for strike one. That 92-mile-an-hour fastball again. Sandoval in on the grass at third base with one out here in the first inning. Mentioned the overall numbers for Porcello against the Orioles, not great. 3-5 with a 4.28. But last year, while with the Tigers, he faced them and was 2-0 with a 1.42 ERA. Orioles last season hitting at 178 in the two starts. And won at least 6 innings in each of those starts. Foul in the air, off to the left, out of play. And a quality start in his first start in a Red Sox uniform, but the mistake breaking ball to Jeff Francoeur allowed a 3-run home run in that outing, and that ended up being the difference. Up over the mound and into center field, a base hit for Paredes, first base runner of the day. Membership has its privileges. Learn how you can join the most exclusive sports membership in Boston as a Red Sox season ticket holder. Call 617-226-6888. Email new season tickets at redsox.com or visit redsox.com/season tickets today for more information. Jimmy Paredes with a one-out single back up the middle. Sets the table here for Adam Jones. Off to a very good start. .415 average for the Orioles center fielder. And a pop-up foul backing out of play.
Don mentioned .415 for Jones, 8-game hitting streak right now. It's not hit Porcello extremely well throughout his career at 167, but you look at the numbers in the 8-gamer, .533.
High drive, deep left. Crushed up over everything in left field and out of the yard. Adam Jones with his 5th home run of the year. Just like that, puts the Orioles on top 2-0 in the first inning.
Now, so far, home runs have been a little bit of a bugaboo for Porcello. That's the 4th that he has allowed so far this season. And that hot streak just continues for Jones. Gets a fastball middle in right there. We can see it sinking in to Jones, and that's a line shot home run up over that left field wall.
First extra base hit for Adam Jones off of Porcello, and that one out of Fenway Park. Chris Davis, who had an opposite field home run here yesterday, picked up his 2nd home run of the year. And a swing and a miss for strike one.
First changeup of the afternoon for Porcello, 83 miles an hour. Davis has 3 career home runs against Porcello.
Ten for 39 so far this season for Davis. What a start to the season for Adam Jones. Now a foul back, and it's 2-2. Davis takes it and strikes out. There's the first K for Porcello. Bounces back after the home run, 2 down.
Well, a couple of changeups sets up that fastball for Porcello. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Davis just stares at it. 19th time this year he has struck out. He's got 1 walk.
Two down, bases empty, and the first appearance of the series for Delman Young. And off to a 2 for 15 start with the Orioles. As the pitch is low and away, and it is 2-0. Not chasing, and misses the outside corner. 3-0. Numbers for him against Porcello, a .333 average, including a home run. And he takes strike one. Young joining the Orioles prior to the 2014 season. Last year, a 3-run pinch hit double, 8th inning of the ALDS in Game 2. Brock Holt shading his eyes. Bogart's there as well, and it'll be Xander who puts it away to end the top of the first inning. But a 2-run home run for Adam Jones as the Orioles on top 2-0. Have the lead. Red Sox fans trying to cheer on the Red Sox here in the bottom of the first inning on this Junior Announcer Day. Here's the Red Sox lineup.
Thanks, Mr. Ursello. I'm Tyler from Attleboro. Leading off for the Red Sox, the second baseman Brock Holt. In center field, Mookie Betts, the DH David Ortiz. In left field, Hanley Ramirez, the first baseman Mike Napoli, the third baseman Pablo Sandoval. In right field, Shane Victorino. The shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, and batting ninth, the catcher, Sandy Leone.
Good job, Tyler, as Brock Holt leads it off here in the bottom of the first inning. And takes a strike. It is 1-1. Now for Holt, 11 for 19 to start the year. And after starting in center field yesterday, he is at second base today, giving Dustin Pedroia the beginning of the game off. Curveball will miss outside. Five-game hitting streak, and during it, hitting at .611. 2-1 is sliced foul off to the left. Today's Orioles starting pitcher is presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Miguel Gonzalez, third start of the year, 1-1 with a nifty 1.42 earned run average. Well, it's sitting at 163 against Gonzalez. 2-2 offering is fouled off again. Tuesday against the Yankees, a win. 7 innings, 4 hits, just the 1 run. How about the 10 Ks to 1 walk for Gonzalez? Signed as a minor league free agent in February of 2012. Born in Guadalajara, Mexico, and there's a base hit into center field. And Brock Holt continues to hit wherever he is and whenever he's in the lineup. And he's got himself a base hit here to begin the bottom of the first inning.
Today's Oriole defense is brought to you by DraftKings. They have third in the league with 3 errors in 11 games. Manny Machado at third base. Eric Cabrera, the shortstop. Ryan Flaherty at second. And Chris Davis, the first baseman. Left to right, Delman Young, Adam Jones, and Travis Snyder. And Caleb Joseph doing the catching for Gonzalez.
So Brock Holt at first base to get it started. Now Mookie Betts. Yeah, Betts had yesterday off, back in there today, although he did pinch run in yesterday's game. But had his duties off as a center fielder. Interesting that he is sliding to the 2 spot today with Brock Holt in the starting lineup, leading off. 209, 2 homers, 8 runs batted in for Betts.
And the Red Sox today from Gonzalez, who has been very, very tough on Boston throughout his career. Fastball about 90-91. Not afraid to come inside. Curveball, split-fingered fastballs, a splitter that Holt got the base hit on.
There are the numbers against the Red Sox in his career. 7th career start today. Last 3 he's gone 1-1 with a 1.80 earned run average as he misses outside to Betts. Brock Holt at first base, 1 for 1 in stolen bases this year. Driven to right field, sending Snyder back almost to the track and now onto it as he backpedals to make the catch, and Betts gives it a ride, but here's the first out here at the bottom of the first inning.
And gives it a ride, but against the wind here at Fenway Park this afternoon. Hit that ball very, very well. Fastball, middle of the plate, the inside out swing. And when Betts made contact, it looked like he thought he had it over the head of Travis Snyder, but Snyder back to the warning track as the wind knocked it down some.
1 out, 1 on. Here's David Ortiz. Had a big day yesterday for the Red Sox. Unfortunately in the losing cause for Boston. 237 average, 2 homers, 3 runs batted in for Big Papi. Ortiz 3 for 3. Scored a run, doubled, walked. Surpassed his old friend Manny Ramirez for sole possession, 27th place on MLB's all-time doubles list yesterday, now 548. Check on Holt at first, who's back to the bag. Also passing Sammy Sosa yesterday for 28th place, MLB's all-time extra base hit list with 1,034. That'll bounce in, and it is 2-0.
Well, we'll see if yesterday carries into today for David Ortiz. Had 3 very good at bats in the ball game yesterday with 3 hits.
Talking about it off the open a little bit about the timing for him returning.
The timing looked a little bit better. The balance looked a little bit better yesterday than we've seen. Quite a few times early in the season that front shoulder, the right shoulder, has been coming off the baseball a little bit too soon, and yesterday he took care of that in his first at bat with a line drive to the opposite field.
Always hit the Orioles well. In fact, in his last 20 games against Baltimore, 377 average. Three and 1, just missed. Mel Gonzalez was looking to get credit for the high strike, didn't get it from home plate umpire Paul Emmel. Hanley Ramirez waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the bottom of the first inning. Tried to hold up. Did he go? Yes, he did. According to Jerry Meals, Ortiz gets the bad news. He flipped the bat and was headed for first base. Crew Chief Jerry Meals making that call.
You know, Ortiz didn't like it at all. Dropped the bat, put his hands on his hips, and that's something that won't sit well with the third base umpire. John Farrell just shaking his head and Meals staring in.
Holt takes off, and now it's ball 4. David will make his way down to first base. First walk given up by Gonzalez. But get in the swing of baseball season. Make sure you never miss a game by downloading the Red Sox schedule today. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the 2015 schedule directly into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program. 2 on and 1 out for the Red Sox here in their half of the first inning. With Hanley Ramirez coming up. .233 start to his season. 4 homers and 9 runs batted in. He is so far 0 for 7 in this series against Baltimore.
The first time in his career that he has faced Gonzalez.
High drive to left field for Hanley Ramirez. Monster seats and gone. 3-run home run for Hanley Ramirez and the Red Sox with a 3-2 lead. 5th home run for Hanley Ramirez.
Now Hanley took an outside fastball and just hooked this ball over the fence. Hanley was one of the first guys at the ballpark this morning. I don't know if he was here taking extra swings, but he was very early this morning, and it pays off in his first at bat. That's a ball right there that a lot of times he's been grounding out to second base on. That time he hooked it for a home run.
So the Red Sox went from a 2-run deficit to a 1-run lead thanks to Hanley Ramirez's 5th home run. RBIs 10, 11, and 12 on the year. And now Mike Napoli. Gonzalez not having the same results he had last time out against the Yankees. Red Sox getting to him here in the first.
That's the first home run he's given up so far this season in his 3rd start.
Quiet start for Napoli, 5 for 38. And a swing and a miss, elevating that time, and Napoli chased.
It's not the velocity right here, it's the location, the high fastball that time, and even at 90 miles an hour, tough to catch up to.
Now, Gonzalez did give up 25 home runs a year ago. And Napoli fouls that off, gets a piece of Joseph, the catcher. Gonzalez trying to grab his bearings here in the first inning. A single for Holt. Mookie Betts hit the ball well to right field, but was retired. Then a walk to Ortiz, followed by the 3-run home run by Hanley Ramirez. Napoli strikes out looking, grabs the outside corner, and he can't believe it. He is out number 2, first strikeout for Gonzalez.
That slider toward the outside part of the plate. Let's look at the Amica pit zone, see where the location is, and just barely getting the outside corner. Napoli questioning that one, not agreeing with the call, but has to make his way back to the dugout.
2 down for Pablo Sandoval, hitting at .286, no homers, 4 runs batted in. Sandoval 1 for 6 so far in the series against the Orioles. 0 for 4 yesterday. Three and 0. Taking ball 4. Down to first base he goes. That is the second walk given up by Gonzalez. Gulf Electricity, they're powering Fenway Park, the home of the Red Sox, and they can power your home for less too. Visit gulfelectricity.com today. Two outs here in the first inning. 3 runs in. Sandoval at first and Shane Victorino. Victorino entering today's game with 4,990 career plate appearances. He is just 10 shy of 5,000 career plate appearances. The one pitch is inside, and it's a ball and a strike.
Victorino had to miss yesterday's game because of sore ribs after banging into the wall here on Friday night. Took some early batting practice in the cage this morning and announced he was ready to go.
Limited to 30 games last year due to 3 stints on the DL. 2 different injuries a year ago. The player you're talking about from the other night, banging into that wall and the ribs. Had him in the original lineup yesterday, but scratched just before the ball game. On a home run by Caleb Joseph. 3-1. '30th pitch of this first inning for Miguel Gonzalez. And that is ball 4. So 3rd walk of the inning given up by Gonzalez. Remember, last time out he had 10 Ks and only 1 walk. And Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, heading out there now. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway. All the 200% guaranteed. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
And talking about the walks, in the first game that he pitched against Tampa Bay, at Tampa Bay, had 5 walks in that game with 5 strikeouts, but already 3 here in the first inning this afternoon.
So Xander Bogaerts becomes the 8th member of the Red Sox to bat here in the first inning. .366 start to the year. No homers, 8 runs batted in. And he swings at the first pitch for strike 1 on the breaking ball. Bogaerts 2 for 7 in the series, was 0 for 3 here yesterday. And of course had the walk-off single in game 1 of the series to right field in the 9th inning. And a swing and a miss. Same pitch down and away. 0-2.
Back-to-back sliders to Bogaerts. And that time Bogaerts chasing the pitch well off the plate.
Sandoval at second, Victorino at first. Bogart's bats now. The inning continues. Sandy Leon waits on deck. Just away. Gonzalez wanted that, and it's 2-2.
Got it to a spot where he wanted it, but not being called to strike, just a little bit outside.
35th pitch of this first inning for Miguel Gonzalez coming up. And Bogart strikes out to end the inning, but a 3-run home run in the inning for Hanley Ramirez, giving the Red Sox a 3-2 lead.
Second inning, third start of the year for Rick Porcello. While he did give up the first inning home run, the early returns have been good. 1-on-1 with a 3.86 ERA, including an 8-inning effort in his first start at Fenway Park against the Washington Nationals, which was his first win in a Red Sox uniform. He's been one of the most consistent starters really early on for the Red Sox, but he says there are improvements he could make, and one area he certainly could look at is the long ball. He's given up 4 home runs now in 2+ starts. Manager John Farrell says one of the things that's impressed him about Porcello early on is ability to establish the fastball. We'll see how he mixes his pitches moving forward, particularly when he faces Adam Jones again.
Yeah, Adam, this is it's a pretty tough lineup, top to bottom here for the Orioles as far as power goes too. You get Davis, Jones, and Delman Young in there now too, and Manny Machado, who has not really gotten off to the start he is used to, but this guy off to a tremendous start. Adam Jones, I mean, comes into the game hitting at .415 and picks up his 5th home run of the year. Well, the Red Sox have taken a 3-2 lead, so at least on life here for Rick Porcello after the home run in the first inning. Travis Snyder takes ball 3-1.
Now, this Oriole club has had a little bit of a turnover in the offseason, but still a very good club. Coming into Friday night's game, they were leading baseball in home runs.
And they're waiting for the return of Wieters, of course, who had the Tommy John surgery, and J.J. Hardy, who right now is on a rehab. And of course, this year without their staple in right field, Nick Markakis, who of course signed with the Atlanta Braves, not re-signed by the Orioles. Well, the early standings right now: Red Sox on top at 7-4, Baltimore right in behind them at 6-5. Red Sox, of course, going to Tampa Bay at the end of this 4-game series to play 3 games in St. Pete, and then John Farrell's team will travel to Baltimore to take on these Orioles at Camden Yards. Week-long trip coming up. Swing and a miss, and there's strikeout number 2 for Rick Porcello.
A change up that time by Porcello. Well, strikeout in the first inning to Davis. That was on a fastball. This time it's the changeup for the strikeout, and slightly off balance swing by Snyder.
One down here in the second inning for Manny Machado. He swings at the first pitch for strike 1. Down 0-2, and that pitch was right down the middle at 93 miles an hour. Well, be sure to follow Nesson on Instagram to see all things behind the scenes this Red Sox season. Follow Nesson at Instagram.com/Nesson.
Whoa.
Wow, good pitch. Call the ball.
That's one Porcello's going to have, that hard sinking fastball that gets the bottom of the strike zone.
That's strike 3, and that appeared to be a little bit outside. Back-to-back strikeouts for Porcello. And Machado saying some stuff to Paul Emmel on the way by.
Well, I can see him being a little bit upset about this pitch because it does appear to be a little bit outside, but the one before was certainly a strike.
Do you believe in makeup calls?
Not on a third strike, no.
2 down here in the second inning for Ryan Flaherty. Maine native, 4 for 17 to begin the year. And a home run on opening day for the Orioles. Four in a row now retired by Porcello after the 2-run home run allowed to Adam Jones. Good day to be in the bleachers in the sunshine. There's a drive to center field, sending Mookie Betts back onto the track at the wall. That ball is gone. Home run to center field for Ryan Flaherty, his second of the year. And Flaherty and the Orioles tie the score 3-3. And again, the home run ball, a problem for Porcello.
That's strange, too, because Porcello basically a sink-a-ball pitcher, and it's unusual to see him give up 5 home runs already on the season. Flaherty doing a good job staying back on that ball and straight away center field. So Pedro Scope on the disabled list. He'll be getting a lot more playing time at second base. Excuse me, I said Pedro Scope. Jonathan Scope. I always say Pedro Scope. I don't know why.
I know why, because you're thinking of Pedro Strop, who used to pitch for them in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Very close.
Jonathan Scope. Unfortunately hurt and on a disabled list.
Caleb Joseph waiting on a 1-1. And a swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. In all 3 games of this series, we've not seen Ryan Lavarnway in the series, a former Red Sox catcher. 40th pitch for Porcello, and it's lined to center. Betts coming in, and he's got to play it on a hop. He came racing in, thinking he might have a chance to play it on the fly, but didn't work out. It's a 2-out ringing single. Toyo Tire is the official tire of the Boston Red Sox. Whether you're taking your truck off-road or the kids to practice or your sports car to its limits, there's a Toyo Tire for you. Visit toyotires.com to find a dealer. Well, the inning started well for Rick Porcello, striking out Travis Snyder and Manny Machado. But a solo home run for Ryan Flaherty. And then a single to center for Caleb Joseph. And here is Everett Cabrera. Cabrera grounding out to Brock Holt at second base in the first inning. The only ground ball out so far that Porcello has recorded. Strike called. We're trying to hold up, but a called strike has him down 1-2. Red Sox dropping 11 of 19 meetings with the Orioles last year, and they'll play 19 times this year. Both teams taking a game of the first two here of this 4-game series. Actually, Friday night's win for the Red Sox snapped a streak of 5 straight losses against the Orioles here at Fenway Park. So you saw Ryan Lavarnway on the Orioles bench, former Red Sox catcher. Swing and a miss as Porcello elevates, sends up striking out the side, but Ryan Flaherty with a home run. It's tied 3-3. Scion in the new Scion TC. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Your local Subaru dealers. The all-new Kia Sorento. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Bottom of the second inning. Game tied 3-3. And Gonzalez, who had to throw 35 first inning pitches. Deals with Sandy Leon, Brock Holt, and Mookie Betts here in the second inning. Fouled off to the left out of play as Leon down 1-2. Leon, first appearance of the series.
Most of the time when he comes inside like that, he follows it up with a splitter away. Let's see if he does that to Leon. Looks like they are going to the splitter down and away. Well, it didn't go away. It went right down the middle of the plate. They want it down, they want it away, but instead over the middle of the plate and hooked foul out in his front foot is Leon on the off-speed pitch.
Now swing and a miss, and striking out is Leon. That's the third strikeout for Gonzalez. One down here in the second.
Now, much better splitter that time, keeping it down and out of the strike zone.
One away. Brock Holt coming up here, second time through for the Red Sox against Miguel Gonzalez. And so far, so good. Red Sox scoring 3 times in the first. Ended up walking 3 in the first. Holt had a single, came around on the 3-run home run by Hanley Ramirez. And that extended his hitting streak now to 6 games, 632 along the way. He continues to hit and do what he is doing. He is going to find himself in the lineup every day. He may be moving around all over the place as he is right now. Center field yesterday, second base today, but that bat is going to stay in the lineup as long as he continues to do what he's doing.
And I think he's very comfortable with that, Don. You know, he's gotten comfortable at so many different positions. It really doesn't matter anymore where you put Brock Holt.
That's a strike at 91, 2-2.
Wonder why Betts did not lead off and Holt hit second. My guess would be to keep 2 lefties from going back to back, Holt and Ortiz.
And Betts batting second today for Boston. Monday, April 27th is Replica Fenway Park Night at Fenway. All fans in attendance will receive a free replica model of Fenway Park presented by W.B. Mason. Visit redsox.com/promos for more information and to purchase your tickets now. Swinging a foul tip held onto by Caleb Joseph for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. 4-all now for Miguel Gonzalez.
That's all about location, and location with the 90-mile-an-hour fastball away from Holt. Gets the foul tip, and Caleb Joseph able to hold on to it.
Two down here in the second inning, and it brings up Mookie Betts. Flied out to the warning track in right field in the first inning, 0 for 1. Quickly down 0-2. That's with 2 home runs on the year. 1 against the right-hander, 1 against the left-hander. On the ground, Everett Cabrera. And a good stretch at first base by Chris Davis. They're able to get Mookie Betts. Sox down in order in a 3-3 game from the Fens. And heads to one of his favorite New England lakes in hopes of having a great day of catching fish. But something happens with the boat ramp that may not allow him to get in the water. Food, fish, and trivia are all mixed into this episode. Catch it all tonight at 6:30. 3-3 game into the top of the third inning. A curveball that misses from Rick Porcello to Jimmy Paredes. Leads it off here for the Orioles in the inning. Paredes singled in the first and came in on the home run by Adam Jones. Now it's a fly ball to right field. Victorino calling and catching out number one. One down here in the third, and that takes us to Adam Jones. Jones collecting his 5th home run of the year back in the first inning with a 2-run blast. RBIs 12 and 13. That average up to 429 to begin the year. Started the day 4th in average in the American League. And a foul tip this time on a pitch that was up. He's not afraid to swing at pitches that are up. Now with a 9-gamer after that home run back in the first inning.
Yeah, he's very aggressive. Does not walk very much. Doesn't strike out very much.
This home run got out of Fenway Park very quickly on a line. Up over everything, and Porcello knew it right away. Swinging a foul tip held onto by Leone. Striking out is Jones. That's the 5th strikeout now for Rick Porcello.
Climbing the ladder that time. A couple of high strikes to Adam Jones and that at bat. Changing his eye level from fastball up high to curveball down low, back upstairs with the fastball.
Two away here in the third, and it brings up Chris Davis, who struck out looking in the first inning. Porcello in his first outing had 4 Ks. Last time out against Washington, 6. And 5 today already with 2 outs here in the third inning. Low for ball 2. Last year for Porcello, setting career best in wins with 15. Best earned run average of his career, 3.43. Most innings, 204 and 2/3. And what worked out to be his final season with the Tigers. And 32 overall appearances, 31 starts. And led the American League with 3 shutouts. High drive, deep right field for Chris Davis. Back goes Victorino. The wind's going to knock it down, and it will land on the grass. The throw to second base, and Davis gets in. That ball fooled everybody, and that includes Shane Victorino. Off the bat, it looked long gone. But instead, it ends up to the left of Victorino and landing harmlessly in right field as the wind got to it.
Well, we talked about a couple of nights ago how difficult this ballpark is to play in when it's windy, and especially when it's a crosswind. And there you see Victorino. He knows he's in trouble as he goes back on that ball. He thought it was going to be hit a lot harder and longer than what it was. It gets knocked down, and he's got no chance at all to get to it. There's that crosswind here this afternoon. And to me, as I said the other night, I think that's the most difficult one to play in Fenway Park.
A big opportunity here now for the Baltimore Orioles with Chris Davis at second base and 2 down. Delman Young trying to cash in on it. Popped out to the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, in the first inning. Nice play by Leon to his right to block it. Davis remains at second base. A double by Davis, the 5th Baltimore hit of the day, and it comes with 2 outs here in the top half of the 3rd inning. On the ground, right side. Brock Holt to the outfield grass. Ends the inning. So the Davis double not costly as it turns out. Orioles and Red Sox are tied at 3. Last year is back again this year. It's the Wally wave here at Fenway's in between innings. It's not just kids, Jerry. It's people of all ages in the Wally wave.
I notice some have their own version of it, too, a little bit different than Wally's.
Wally's has not changed much.
No.
It's always the boiler move there.
Yeah. But that's always a favorite with the fans.
Head to the bottom of the 3rd inning as the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up here for the Red Sox in a tie game. David Ortiz walked in the 1st inning. In fact, Miguel Gonzalez walked 3 in the 1st inning. To go along with a 3-run home run for the gentleman waiting on deck, Hanley Ramirez. The Orioles in the shift here on the right side for David per usual, with Ryan Flaherty, the second baseman, back in short right field. Ortiz grounds into the shift, and it's Everth Cabrera, the shortstop, who throws him out for the first out of the inning. The Red Sox Foundation launched the Impact Awards, which provides Red Sox fans in 5 New England states outside of Massachusetts with the opportunity to vote on their favorite local nonprofits to decide which organizations will be awarded grants totaling $75,000. Voting deadline dates vary by state. To cast your vote, visit redsox.com/impact. 1 out, 5 in a row, retired by Miguel Gonzalez. And here's Hanley Ramirez. The home run for Ramirez was his 5th of the year. Back in the 1st inning, the 3-run shot. Chopped at 3rd, a tough op. Backing up is Machado. Plants and throws in time. Nice play by Manny Machado for the 2nd out of the inning.
He timed that perfectly. Right at contact, he knew he was going to have to back up to play an extra hop, and that's exactly what he did. And when he plays that hop, he's in a very good position right there to plant and throw. He knows he's had plenty of time with Ramirez going down the line. Outfield grass, the plant foot.
Two outs here in the third inning. Mike Napoli, a strikeout victim in the first. He went looking. Total of 4 strikeouts so far for Miguel Gonzalez. Boston-based daily fantasy company DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox, is giving out $300 million in cash prizes. Enter promo code NESSON to play for free. Fastball by Napoli makes it 0-2. Pablo Sandoval on deck. Miguel Gonzalez right now has retired the last 6 Red Sox in a row. Trying to settle into his outing after a very rocky first inning. Napoli goes up and gets it and sends it into right field for a base hit. The pitch up, he gets up on top of and breaks up that 6 in a row.
That's exactly what Gonzalez and Joseph wanted to do. They wanted the high fastball up and away from Napoli, but watch Napoli's hands go up and get on top of the baseball and put it on the line to the opposite field.
Two outs here in the third with Napoli at first and Pablo Sandoval, who walked in the first inning. All 3 walks allowed by Miguel Gonzalez coming in that first inning. Sandoval chops to first. Davis up in the air to get it. He'll tag the bag, and that will end the third inning. Through 3. Threes are wild. Game tied 3-3. Make good things happen. Watch how good things are happening to local people at easternbank.com/goodthingshappen. Cool day today in Boston. These guys having a good time out there.
Get that cotton candy going, don't they?
Things are going to get a little sticky, I think, moving forward. 3-3 the score. Into the 4th inning we go. And Travis Snyder leading it off. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. A curveball to him to start him off. Snyder, Machado, and Flaherty. jammed and a pop-up that'll get out of play and foul. Want to be on Dining Playbook? Billy Costa and Jenny Johnson want to hear what your favorite dish at your favorite restaurant is. All you have to do is send a quick video or photo of your to die for dish and share at Dining Playbook on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just hashtag TopNotch. There is strike three. Snyder knew it. Takes with him the 6th strikeout for Porcello.
That little movement that time on the fastball, a two-seamer that comes back and picks up the inside corner. You see that late movement on it. And Porcello picks up the leadoff strikeout here in the 4th inning.
Second time Travis Snyder is down by way of the K. And here's Manny Machado. He also struck out back in the 2nd inning. He went looking. And takes strike one at the top of the zone. Machado's not been impressed with Paul Emmel's strike zone. Breaking ball called to strike, and now it's 0-2.
And continues to be frustrated.
Breaking ball kind of slipped out of his hand. We talked about it many times, but Ryan Hanigan having the benefit of all of spring training to learn the Red Sox pitching staff. Leon came over from the Nationals right at the end of spring. And learning the staff as he goes on the fly. Back up the middle and knocked down by Bogaerts, but Zender will have no play at first base. Reaching is Machado with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Well, Machado put up a pretty good at bat. You know, he got frustrated by a couple of calls, but still gets a fastball inside and jammed a little bit, but still muscles it up the middle for the base hit. A nice effort by Bogaerts, but no chance at all to make a throw, even if he comes up clean with it.
1 on, 1 out for Ryan Flaherty, who hit his 2nd home run of the year back in the 2nd inning. Flaherty, who was born in Portland, Maine, resides in Franklin, Tennessee now during the offseason. Graduated from Deering High School, where he played quarterback on Deering's 2003 Class A state championship team and went 13-0. And went on to attend Vanderbilt University. That's how he ended up in Tennessee.
I don't think I've ever been to Tennessee. I've been many places between the minor leagues and the major leagues, but I don't think I've ever been to Tennessee.
I don't think I have either. He is the oldest son of longtime University of Southern Maine coach Ed Flaherty. Runner goes at first, and Flaherty fouls it back. Tune in tonight at 10 to NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Ellen Jamison have full coverage of the Celtics and Cavs first-round matchup, plus Jermaine Wiggins drops by the set. See what know-how can do. 70th pitch of the day for Porcello. And a ground ball down the first base line. That looked like a fair ball. And they're acting like it is, but now finally the call. A foul ball. That was right on the line, it looked like, and then Napoli made the catch standing on the bag, and Farrell's going to come out and argue this.
Well, he's going to question the home plate umpire because it's supposed to be his call until it gets past the first base bag. We'll take another look and replay. See, we can see it bounces in fair territory. Does it stay in in foul territory? Does it stay there?
Home plate umpire didn't make the call. It was the first base umpire that did. He said it was foul.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was supposed to be the other way around, and I think John Farrell thinks the same thing.
Farrell back to the dugout, and
coming off contact, it looks like it's a foul ball at first bounce. You can see right there, but after that, hard to tell what happened.
Almost looks like that second bounce was in fair, as this one is down the left field line and slicing foul. That gives Flaherty another opportunity here with a count of 2-2. Runner goes. Flaherty takes a pitch low. No throw from Leon, and a headfirst slide for Machado.
Machado picks up his second steal of the season. Has not been caught. That ball was not cleanly handled by Leon behind the plate. You'll see it get him in the webbing of the glove right there, and he just really couldn't get a good grip on it and had no chance to get Machado.
In the dirt, and that's ball 4. So Flaherty down to first base. The first walk of the day given up by Porcello. Two on, one away. Caleb Joseph coming up, batting from the number 9 spot. Already has a single today. One of 6 hits the Orioles have compiled here against Rick Porcello. Fouls it off himself for strike 1. '75th pitch for Porcello on the day. And it's a little bit low. A ball and a strike now to Caleb Joseph. Machado at second base. Flaherty at first base with 1 down here in the 4th inning. Top of the order, Everett Cabrera waiting on deck. Orioles making some noise here in the 4th inning. Three and one.
Porcello trying that sinker that time, but down out of the strike zone, trying to induce a ground ball double play.
4th 3-ball count for Porcello of his outing. And this will be the 20th pitch of the inning coming up. Popped up foul and out of play. I remind you to follow the Red Sox all season in 2015 with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is the up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. A strikeout looking for Travis Snyder to begin the inning. The infield hit for Manny Machado. Stole second. Flaherty walked. Now the runners go, and that is a ball. Throw to third is not going to matter. It is ball 4. As down to first base goes Joseph. And Juan Nieves will now come out and talk to Porcello with back-to-back walks to the 8-9 men in the order.
And Porcello looking in like he can't believe that pitch was called the ball. Let's take another look. Looked like a pretty good pitch to me. Let's see what the Amica pitch zone says. A little bit outside.
So a bases loaded, 1 out opportunity now for the Orioles, and Everett Cabrera, the top spot of their order coming up. His 3rd plate appearance of the day. Grounded out to second base in the first, struck out swinging in the second inning. Cabrera signing as a free agent to a 1-year deal with the Orioles. Born in Nicaragua, resides there during the offseason. A career .293 hitter, does have 1 grand slam when the bases loaded. It's a ground ball back to Porcello. He'll come to the plate for 1. Leone to first for 2. Double play. What Porcello needed most. He gets it here in the top of the 4th inning. The threat by the boards for the O's. Game still tied 3-3. Is here to make your banking and your day easier. See how at easternbank.com. Here, your first Eastern Bank. Now back here in between innings, and I'm not sure what happened here. Miguel Gonzalez is not warming up, and Buck Showalter out there arguing with the third base umpire and crew chief Jerry Meals. So was the catcher Caleb Joseph. I wonder if Miguel Gonzalez, as he was headed out to the field, said something that has maybe got him ejected in this game. He did not come back out, and in the dugout still right now as his manager continues to talk to Jerry Meals. So we did not see anything, but it looks like something went down here.
Yeah, something very strange. And, you know, we just saw the pitcher go to the mound and start to take his warm-up throws. Next thing you know, you see a meeting between the catcher and the umpire. Let's take another look. There's the first pitch of his warm-up tosses. And now the umpire coming around, and let's see if they check something.
John Farrell may have asked for something, as Meals coming from that first base side where, of course, the Red Sox dugout is. I wonder if they asked him to take something off, or we'll see.
There's no question it's something that came from the Red Sox dugout. And Gonzalez doesn't seem to be hot about it by any means, but starts to walk off the mound toward the Baltimore dugout. So I don't know if it's got something to do with his glove or.
Right now sitting in the dugout and waiting for his manager to wrap up this conversation.
There's nobody throwing in the bullpen right now for the Orioles. And you would think Buck Showalter would be a lot hotter than this if he was ejected from the game.
We are missing an umpire or two here right now, as Jerry Meals out there, the crew chief, and so is the first base umpire Andy Fletcher. Paul Emmel and John Tampani are not on the field right now. Almost told him, like, maybe we have a bit of a delay here or something. You may not want to come out and warm up. Maybe that's what it is.
Exactly. I think you're exactly right. And, waiting for the umpires for whatever reason.
Because you notice after that, Gonzalez was looking out towards second base, and there was no umpire out there. He kept looking out there twice.
Yeah, because if this has something to do with Gonzalez, I mean, Buck Showalter would be a lot hotter than what he is right now.
So a delay here, and apparently an umpire delay. Is you wonder about maybe they're switching umpires behind home plate. You see that sometimes when two go in, that one is changing into his home plate umpire gear.
Yeah, it's quite possible that something happened to the home plate umpire, Emmel, and they are changing equipment right now, and that can take some time. And that's probably why they told Gonzalez to go back to the dugout. Now let's see. Yeah, there goes Paul Emmel. This is on replay.
And one of the Red Sox trainers, Brad Pearson, over to help him out. So it's starting to come together for us here. We pieced it together.
They were pointing toward the Red Sox dugout, but they were pointing toward the umpire going down through the tunnel. But he was certainly limping as he went toward the Red Sox dugout and down underneath to where the umpire's room is, above the Red Sox clubhouse. So now everybody is sit around and wait for the umpires to change equipment. Seeing limping going down.
Yep.
I mean, the first thing you think about when you see an umpire go out to talk to a pitcher is, is there something there like Pinedo?
That's a tough one to forget. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
John Tampani is going to go behind the plate. It looks like here is what's happened. The second base umpire will head behind the plate for Paul Emmel, who has left this game. And as you mentioned, does take some time to get all that gear on. And waiting here is Miguel Gonzalez. There were a couple warm-up tosses before he got word from the crew chief, Jerry Meals. That's still Emmel there in the hallway beyond Torey Lovello, who just popped out there a moment ago. Now, local Dunkin' Donuts franchisees are proud to give back to the communities in which they live and work. Thousands of kids have had the chance to catch a free Sox game thanks to Dunkin' Donuts. Tonight we welcome Boy Scout Pack number 357 from Rochester, New Hampshire to historic Fenway Park. Dunkin' Donuts, committed to the community. So an umpire delay here right now at Fenway Park. Chris Cundiff, the ball boy, coming out with some balls, ready to hand it to whoever is going to be the new home plate umpire. And Gonzalez now coming out, and looks like he's going to start warming up here again. While we have a moment, it's time for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Tom? All right, Tom, thanks very much. Of course, the next trip for the Red Sox to St. Pete will be leaving after the ball game tomorrow. So here we go. John Tompani now goes in behind the plate for the umpires, and he's looking for the lineup cards, and he's got them now. As he takes over the duties behind the plate for Paul Emmel. And they will work with 3 umpires for the remainder of the day now. They're already short an umpire as Jordan Baker, who had started the series with his crew, left today for personal reasons, and now they have had an injury, it appears, to Paul Emmel, today's home plate umpire. So they'll work with 3. And Gonzalez with his normal warm-ups now as we get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning. Gonzalez has now retired 7 of the last 8 Red Sox, seemingly settling down after a very rocky first inning, which he gave up the 3-run home run to Hanley Ramirez. Walked 3 in that inning. Only one of the walks turned into a run, and he struck out a couple in the first, and this game tied 3-3 into the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Shane Victorino, Xander Bogaerts, and Sandy Leon here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Red Sox. Victorino walked in the first inning. Gets his second plate appearance here against Gonzalez. In there for a strike. Ball and a strike now to Victorino. On the ground up the middle, and ranging is Cabrera. Spins and fires off the glove of Chris Davis. Victorino's headed for second base. Throw from Davis going to be close, and Victorino is safe.
Excellent hustle there by Shane Victorino. I'll tell you, it was a really nice play by Cabrera, the shortstop. He covered an awful lot of ground, but Davis can't handle the throw at first base. And immediately Victorino took off at second base. It ended up being a pretty close play there, but he's safe. There's that spin around and throw, and it's off the glove of Davis, and no hesitation. Victorino sees that, makes the decision on his own to go to second base. And just barely gets in there.
So a base hit and an error. As Victorino getting credit for the base hit, and then taking second on the throwing error for Everett Cabrera. So in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Xander Bogaerts. Strikeout victim back in the first, stranding 2. And one of the 4 strikeouts today for Miguel Gonzalez. On the ground to short. Everett Cabrera looks the runner back at second and throws out Bogaerts for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And that was not good pitch selection by Bogaerts, because he's looking to move the ball to the opposite field to advance that runner to third base with 1 out. And the fact is, he jumped on a first pitch fastball that was inside, and really all he could do with that is pull it. So Victorino's stuck at second base now with 1 out.
Sandy Leon, the batter, he struck out swinging in the second inning. Gonzalez missing badly outside. 3 for 12 to begin his Red Sox career, the former Washington National. 2-0. Of course, Leon recorded a 3-hit game on Monday of last week. First hits and first RBI as a member of the Red Sox. First opening day roster of his career that he has been in the majors. So he takes a strike, 2-1.
Not the kind of pitch you want to swing at when the count's in your favor. 2 balls, no strikes. That's a nasty fastball down and away. Multiple signs given with a man at second base.
Off the end of the bat foul, 2-2. Leon known certainly for his defensive prowess in the minor leagues. Last 6 minor league seasons, he has caught 48% of attempted base stealers. Bats now with Brock Holt waiting on deck. Pitch 70 coming up here for Gonzalez. First, a timeout. Swinging a foul tip. Don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union, tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. TC and Tim Wakefield will have Patriots Day ceremonies live from Fenway. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Two foul back. Victorino reaching second base on the infield hit. The error charge on the throw by Everett Cabrera, the shortstop. Bogarts grounded out. Victorino could advance. Now 2-2 to the Red Sox catcher. That sails up and away. Leon fouling off another, wasting more Gonzalez pitches here. Leon battling. Outfield straight away here on Sandy Leon. Go ahead run in scoring position right now for the Red Sox. And a bluff off the backside. Outside ball 4, and he finally loses him. That's the first walk since the first inning given up by Gonzalez. Good at bat for Leon. Just one Nexium 24 hours gives you all day, all night protection from frequent heartburn. Go to Nexium24hour.com for savings and pick up Nexium 24 hour at your local Stop and Shop. Two on, one away, and Brock Holt, the batter. Single in the first, struck out in the second. He has one of 4 Red Sox hits on the day. Now 12 for 21 to begin the year. Victorino at second, Leon at first. To left, Delman Young waiting as he makes the catch. No advance again for the base runners, and back to their respective bases here with 2 down in the inning. Sharply hit, but right in the neighborhood of Delman Young.
Yep, good solid contact by Holt, but Young only had to move back a couple of steps to make the catch. It was a kind of hanging split fastball that time, and good solid contact by Holt, but 2 outs now.
There's Mookie Betts. Flied out to the warning track in right field in the first inning. Any other day may have gotten it into the bullpen, but not today. He grounded out to short in the second inning. In the dirt, gets away briefly from the catcher Joseph. Victorino gave it some thought, but hangs out at second base.
Watching Joseph in these first 3 games of the series, I mean, does a nice job behind the plate. Of course, we get accustomed to seeing Wieters back there. Wieters on the disabled list after Tommy John surgery.
Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Now Gonzalez backs off, runners back to their bases. Victorino at second, Leon at first. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pitch count rising here for Gonzalez, and the Shadows trying to make their way towards home plate. Betts to right field. Travis Snyder moving over in the sun field to make the catch. That ends the inning. Red Sox strand a pair. We head to the 5th. Game tied 3-3. And fabrication for facilities throughout the Northeast. Did you know FW Web did that? Learn more about this proud Red Sox sponsor at fwweb.com. Red Sox had a chance to do some damage in the bottom of the 4th inning, but Miguel Gonzalez pitches his way out of the jam, and game remains tied 3-3 into the 5th inning. Jimmy Paredes, Adam Jones, and Chris Davis coming up. 2, 3, and 4 for the Orioles, and Rick Porcello back on the mound. 81 pitches deep into his outing through the first 4 innings. Brady's showing bunt. That one glancing off the glove of Leon for ball 1. Brady singled and scored in the first inning, and then flied out to right in the 3rd. lines it to right field. This will get down over his Victorino quickly as Paredes will take a wide turn at first but retreat. A leadoff single to get the 5th inning started, his 2nd hit of the day.
First hit back in the first inning was on a fastball. This time it's a changeup from Porcello that he stays back pretty nicely on, then hooks it out into right field for the base hit. Victorino had to cover some ground to get there and spin and get it back in to hold Paredes to the one base.
One on, nobody out. Adam Jones hit a 2-run home run out of Fenway Park back in the first inning. Cleared everything in left. And he struck out in the 3rd inning. Takes the first pitch high. The start that he's had home run wise, kind of wonder what the most he's ever hit in his career in a season. 33 is the answer. There's a base hit to left field. Back-to-back hits to open up this 5th inning now for Baltimore. So 2 on, nobody out, and Chris Davis coming up. After Jones, 33 home runs back in 2013. Most he's hit in his career. Had 32 the year before. Last year, he had under 30 at 29. So far this year, 5 in the first 12 games for the Orioles. 2 on, nobody out. Davis 1 for 2. He doubled back in the 3rd inning. A curveball missing high for ball 1. And the Orioles leading Major League Baseball in home runs. 15 so far in the year. The Mariners second with 14. Ground ball right side. The shift's on a little different here. Holt going to Bogaerts for 1. Back to first. Not in time. A lot of people moving around, moving parts when you get the shift on here. And John Farrell's going to come out and argue. He did get Jones at second base for the first out of the inning, and maybe John thought there should have been 2.
Yeah, there might be a challenge here at first base. We'll see. This Holt going to his right and had to cover quite a bit of ground. Davis going down that first base line. I thought he was safe originally, and we'll take another look right here. And I believe he was by the bag. I don't think there is going to be a challenge. He had the front part of that bag before Napoli had the ball in his glove.
So 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and Delman Young the batter. Young 0 for 2. Popped out to the shortstop in the 1st inning. Grounded out to second base in the 3rd. Orioles have had at least 1 base runner in every inning. Look out. That breaking ball up over his head. Curveball slipped out of his hand. Now Juan Nieves coming out as Porcello falls behind here 2-0. Well, time to look at the road ahead for the Red Sox, brought to you by People's United Bank. The Red Sox with tomorrow's morning's game at 11 a.m. here at Fenway Park. Then it is off to St. Petersburg for 3 with the Tampa Bay Rays, 3 at Camden Yards in Baltimore before the Red Sox come back home to take on the Jays, Yankees, and Tampa Bay Rays. And Red Sox in a lengthy stretch here of American League East opponents. 22 of 23 days coming up here for the Red Sox against the AL East. As 1st and 3rd here now for the Orioles, threatening in the top of the 5th inning in this 3-3 game. Delman Young 0 for 2, ahead in the count, 2-0. And pitch 90 from Porcello is off the mark. He falls behind 3-0. So far, no action in the Red Sox pen behind Porcello.
Delman Young might have the green light. He's had success in the past against Porcello.
Takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded. A third walk given up by Porcello, and all 3 have come in the last 2 innings. Pitch in there for a strike to Travis Schneider. Greg Breslow up in the pen. First action we've seen all day out there in the pen. This one is softly lined. It is going to be Holt. He's going to try to win the foot race to the bag, and he will be late, and a run will score. Well, both Napoli and Holt went after that baseball, so nobody was there to cover as Porcello did not get over. And Holt tried to win the foot race to the bag, couldn't. Paredes scores, and the Orioles have a lead.
Yeah, Holt takes a look at Porcello, and he doesn't think he's going to get there in time, so he tries to go by himself, the win of the slide, and can't reach the bag. Porcello was on the way over there, and I don't know if a throw would have been easier for Brock Holt right there, but Brock comes a little bit shy of getting that man at first base. There's Porcello doing his job by covering first base. I think Brock just thought he could beat him to the bag.
Bases reloaded. Here's a liner to center field, and Betts able to make the catch. Tagging is Davis. Throw to the plate, and it will not be in time. And the Orioles take a 2-run lead on top 5-3. So Manny Machado able to line out to center field for the sac fly.
Good solid contact right there by Machado, and Betts coming up throwing, but it's going to die a little bit here at the end. 2 hops to home plate, and another run scores. So 2 on the board, 5-3 ball game.
2 on, 2 down now, and it brings up Ryan Flaherty. Homered in the second inning, walked in the 4th inning. Pitch down and in. And the pitching line for Rick Porcello, brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks on the hook right now, and nearing 100 pitches. Popped up, shallow left. Bogart's out. Ramirez coming in. And he'll make the catch out in left field to end the inning. But the Orioles get a pair of runs, take a 5-3 lead. Clotta Fund, the charitable foundation of the Dropkick Murphys Echo Store, and the Clotta Fund, working together to raise funds for child causes, veteran support, and to help those battling addiction. To learn more, log on to echostore.com. Well, a chilly day here today at Fenway Park as the Orioles have a 5-3 lead now over the Red Sox, getting 2 runs. David Ortiz, Hanley Ramirez, and Mike Napoli to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Orioles into the shift on Big Papi, who has walked today and grounded out to shortstop. Miguel Gonzalez with a lead now, his second lead of the game. And a 2-0 advantage before he took the mound in the bottom of the 1st inning and gave up 3 quick runs. Did he go? They'll check. Yes, he did, says Jerry Meals. Not been a friend of David Ortiz, and David's got to be careful here.
Yeah, this goes back to the beginning of the ball game, and out goes Ortiz.
An earlier call that David didn't like, the third base umpire, and didn't like this call, and was ejected by the home plate umpire, John Tumpain, that time. David throwing his gear back towards home plate as he walks away after the ejection.
I was a little surprised to see the home plate umpire throw him out. It had to be something David said. Second time that he's had a little run-in with Meals down at third base. Let's take a look and see. Ooh, that's very close. Then it's the home plate umpire that comes over and throws Ortiz out of the game. So now we got to wait for a new designated hitter to come out of the dugout.
They'll be inheriting a count of a ball and 2 strikes. Miguel Gonzalez will continue to warm up here, while looks like Daniel Nava will be that new designated hitter coming into the game.
That was real borderline, that call right there.
I don't think he went,
it didn't,
in my opinion.
You know, usually it's pretty clear and obvious when they do go. That was not so clear and obvious. We'll take another look from the side, and right there I thought he held up. This goes back a couple of innings, doesn't it?
Yes. The frustration does, no doubt.
Yes. You can read lips and know exactly what David said, but what we don't know is what he said to the home plate umpire to get thrown out.
So Daniel Nava will inherit this count, leading things off here in the 5th inning. Nava 263, no homers and 5 runs batted in. 0 for 4 so far in the series against the Baltimore Orioles. Started 5 games this year, 4 in right, 1 in left. Kind of a tough situation. You inherit 2 strikes as you stand in.
Yeah, not the best of conditions.
Reaches out, though, and sends one up the middle, but ranging is Machado. His throw in time. Had the shift on, and they kept it on for Nava. And it's a third baseman, Manny Machado, who makes that play for the first out.
Yeah, Machado looked like a shortstop on that as he covers the ground up the middle. Looked like it was headed towards center field, but there he is. One big hop around the letter high, and becomes an easy play after that.
One down here in the fifth inning for Hanley Ramirez. With the big 3-run home run in the first inning, which put the Red Sox at the time on top 3-2. Strike called. After the home run by Ramirez, grounded out to third base in his second at bat in the third inning. Now bats here with one out, bases empty, and Mike Napoli waiting on deck. Sixth 3-ball count on the day for Miguel Gonzalez. And it's on the ground and into center field. Sharply hit base hit for Hanley Ramirez, who collects his second hit of the day.
Hanley looking very comfortable at the plate here this afternoon. Obviously comfortable on that home run, and this swing here on a 2-1 count takes it right back up the middle hard on the ground for the base hit. No chance any infielder is going to get that ball, as they have no shift on Hanley Ramirez.
1 out, 1 on. Mike Napoli, a strikeout victim in the first inning, singled to right in the third. A 1-for-2 day. He pitches now for Miguel Gonzalez. Falls behind Napoli, 2-0. No action yet in the Orioles pen. Some stretching going on out there, but so far nothing. There's a strike at the top of the zone. 2-1. In the dirt, corralled by Joseph. No advance at first for Hanley Ramirez. The Orioles getting 2 runs in the top half of this, the fifth inning, to take a 5-3 lead. Red Sox trying to answer here in the bottom of the fifth. Napoli with a mighty swing. Full count now.
Now Napoli thinking about 2 quick runs on that swing. The problem was it was a fastball away.
Swing and a miss, and Napoli strikes out. Another fastball, and again away on that outside corner.
Almost identical pitches, the last two to Napoli. Both swing and misses on fastballs to the outside part of the plate and a little bit elevated.
Pitching line for Miguel Gonzalez, brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs. All coming in the first. 4 walks, 3 of them coming in the first. He has struck out 5, just got his first strikeout since the second inning. Two down, runner at first, and Pablo Sandoval taking a hack at the first pitch. Back to the pitcher, knocked down by Gonzalez. He stays with it and throws out Sandoval to end the 5th inning. Through 5 from Fenway, the Orioles have a 5-3 lead. What's gone down here today with David Ortiz.
Yeah, he's had some problems with Meals. That was back in the first inning when he did not think that he did swing at the ball, and it was called a strike by Meals. And then the same thing here in the 5th. Look like very similar, both of them. And this time Ortiz goes off, and Meals goes off, and Ortiz goes out of the ball game, thrown out by the home plate umpire.
Sixth inning. Caleb Joseph leading it off here for the Orioles, and the breaking ball in there for strike 1. Been on twice from his number 9 spot in the order, a single to center and a walk. Breaking ball, curveball slipped out of his hand, hit him, and down to first base goes Joseph. That has happened a lot today for Porcello.
Yep, it happens a lot on cool days where you can't get a grip on the ball, especially the breaking ball, the curveball, and it's happened a few times, as Don mentioned, that time off the back of the arm. So leadoff man on here in the 6th.
Third time Joseph has been on. Everett Cabrera 0 for 3 in the game. Grounded out to second, struck out swinging, and bounced into a 1-2-3 double play in the 4th inning. Now a bunt bid, and it may stay fair. It hugs the line all the way down and is going to be a fair ball. Sandoval ended up picking it up. He was worried about the runner at second and Joseph then heading to third, so he picked it up.
It looked like it was starting to roll foul on that line, but Sandoval, as you mentioned, concerned about the runner going to third base. He follows it for a while. He'll let it go. Now it finally reaches the chalk right there, and he picks it up. Maybe he thought Bogaerts was the runner. He looks up and he sees Bogaerts. Because I think if that ball continues to roll, it might have gone foul, but I don't think he couldn't take that chance.
So 2 on, nobody out. It is a base hit for Cabrera, bunt base hit at that. And here's Tommy Hunter warming in the Orioles pen. First action we've seen out there. Jimmy Paredes, the DH now for Baltimore. He's swinging away and he lines one to center field, a base hit, and gets out there so quickly that no chance for Joseph to score. So the bases are loaded with nobody out here for the Orioles.
Take another look at that ball going to the third base line. It's in fair now, but it's going to get on that line and may have roll foul, but that's a tough one to let go because you just don't know what the runner at second base is doing. Your back's to him. And the last thing you wanted to have happen would be a first and third, but it's bad anyway. Bases loaded.
And you got Adam Jones at the plate. Makes it a little bit worse. He has hit a 2-run home run, struck out in the third, and then singled to left in the 5th inning. A career .277 hitter with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam. 0 for 3 this year. And a drive here to deep left center field. Mookie Betts headed back towards the track. Going to be off the wall. Adam Jones is headed for second as the bases are trying to clear, and they will. Throw the plate is very late. 3 runs in, and Baltimore takes an 8-3 lead. Adam Jones takes care of that.
Yeah, he came into this game with hardly no success at all against Porcello, and he's got 3 hits today and 5 RBIs, and that's going to be the afternoon.
So Rick Porcello so far charged with 8 runs. It is an 8-3 Baltimore lead. Pitching change from Fenway. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Back at Fenway Park, where the Orioles have just scored 3 quick runs off Rick Porcello and chased him from the game. Baltimore with an 8-3 lead, as this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia. Greg Breslow, first in from the bullpen for the Red Sox. 5th appearance of the year, has not given up a run in 6 2/3 innings. 5 walks, 5 Ks. Opponents hitting at .050 against the veteran left-hander. Comes in with Adam Jones at second base. Nobody out. Jones just cleared the bases with a bases loaded double off the wall in left center. driven in 5 runs today. Here's Chris Davis. The 5 RBIs, tying his career high for Adam Jones. Rick Porcello still responsible for Jones, who's at second base. Strike 1 from Breslow.
If my scorecard is correct, I think I've got Porcello with 4 ground ball outs all day long, and that's certainly not him. He's a guy that relies on the sinker, gets ground balls. Certainly wasn't the case this afternoon.
Popped up, foul off to the left, out of play. H.B. Hood salutes future Red Sox Hall of Famer Tim Wakefield. Since retiring from his outstanding career, Tim has become honorary chairman of the Red Sox Foundation, which runs the Red Sox Scholars, the home base program, and the Jimmy Fund. Congratulations, Wake. You're always all heart. Yeah, 0-2 to Chris Davis, with Jones at second base and nobody out. Swing and a miss. Now there's somebody out. Davis strikes out. Second time today he's down by way of the K.
Breslow just rearing back, throwing the fastball, and throws it by Davis. Elevated just a little bit, just above the belt. Davis, of course, an excellent low ball hitter.
Mika Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. Here's Delman Young. Takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Young popped out to short in the first, grounded out to second in the third, walked in the 5th inning. Fly ball foul off to the right, out of play. Adam Jones at second base with 1 out. Breslow striking out the first batter he faces coming in. Breslow last worked on Wednesday, throwing the final 2 innings scoreless. Wednesday's 10-5 loss against Washington. Walked the batter, struck out 2 in that appearance. Travis Snyder on deck. Fly ball center field. Mookie Betts started back, now has to come in. Wynn knocking that ball down, but there are now 2 outs in the inning as Betts makes the catch. Stay tuned today following WB Mason Extra Innings Live for Red Sox Final, presented by Uno's. Tom Caron and Tim Wakefield. We'll take a look at Matt Barnes' Pawtucket appearance. Travis Snyder 1 for 3 and struck out twice today, reached on an infield hit in the 5th inning and has an RBI. Broken bat pop up, sending Sandoval to short left field. That ball will fall foul and into the seats. Sandy Leon out there to talk to Breslow here, who has recorded Back-to-back outs since coming into this game here in the 6th inning. Broken bat for Snyder, so he gets a new one here and goes to work on it. One pitch to Travis Snyder. And a swing and a miss. Elevating that time was Breslow.
And Snyder has struck out twice already today. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon, but 2 strikeouts the first 2 times up against Porcello. Down on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes here.
Popped up left side as Bogarts to the outfield grass gets there to make the catch, but the damage done. A 3-run double for Adam Jones. The Orioles now lead at 8-3. As D'Angelo Ortiz learns how to field a ground ball in the outfield from Shane Victorino, while his dad, Big Papi, takes the hot seat in small talk. And to put the audience to the test in Stump Your Parents. Catch it all after the postgame on Nesson Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental.
And Big Papi already took the hot seat today, getting ejected from the ball game on a couple of calls made by a third base umpire that he was not too pleased with.
Tommy Hunter into the game here for the Orioles as Miguel Gonzalez departs with a chance to pick up his 2nd win of the year in the first 5 innings of this game. Gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, all the runs for the Red Sox coming in that first inning. It almost looked like he wasn't going to get out of that first. He had a tough one and gave up the 3-run home run to Hanley Ramirez. Walked 3 in the first, but he got through it and proceeded to pitch very well after that. 96 pitches in 5 innings. So Tommy Hunter into the game here in the 6th inning with a 5-run lead. And dealing with the bottom third of the Red Sox order, Shane Victorino, Xander Bogaerts, and Sandy Leon. Victorino has been on twice, a walk and an infield hit. Home plate now in the shadows. Victorino takes strike 2. Fouls it off and stays alive. Bogarts waiting on deck. Red Sox batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Popped up. Foul ground. A late reaction from Joseph, and he will get there. Makes the catch and makes a little tumble there into the first row of seats. He did not react right away. Realized he had a play. Got over there. Made a nice catch for the first out of the 6th inning.
Very nice, because the ball wasn't really hit that hard. He takes a look at it. Looks at his third baseman, and he realizes, I better go get this thing. And he does make the catch and almost tumbles into the first row. He had the chest protector on to protect him against that the stands.
Xander Bogaerts 0 for 2. Struck out swinging and grounded out to short. On the ground to short. Everett Cabrera stepped to his left. And there are 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Well, for a delicious cup of coffee at the office, try W.B. Mason's coffee service featuring the Carrot Coffee System with Green Mountain Coffee. 2 outs here in the 6th inning, and Sandy Leon, the catcher, coming up here for the Red Sox. He struck out in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th inning. One of 4 walks allowed today by Miguel Gonzalez. Also struck out 5. Ground ball, couple hops to second base. Ryan Flaherty throws out Leon, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Hunter. We're headed for the 7th with the O's on top 8-3. As to the 7th inning we go, and it's Manny Machado leads it off. Breslow back on the mound here for the Red Sox, and why not? Retired all 3 batters that he faced in the 6th inning, and now, dating back to his last few outings, he's retired the last 21 batters that he has faced. Machado 1 for 2 with a sac fly in this game, picking up his 5th RBI on the sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. Rick Porcello today, 5+ innings, 12 hits, charged with 8 runs. Walked 3, struck out 6 on the hook, came in at 1-1. Swing and a miss, and Machado strikes out. Second strikeout for Breslow since he's been in the game.
Now both strikeouts coming on fastballs, one to Davis, and now Machado the fastball right down the middle of the plate. Machado's eye creeping out just a little bit in front of home plate.
One out for Ryan Flaherty. Had a solo home run back in the second, a walk in the fourth, before flying out to left in the 5th inning. Fly ball left field again. Hanley Ramirez backpedaling to the track, and now he's going to turn, and it's going to go off the wall. Over his head again on the ricochet. And running it down is Betts. Another bad read there for Ramirez in left field as it turned out. Let's send it down to Adam.
Well, Don, Hanley Ramirez certainly a welcome addition to the Red Sox batting order that was star for offense last season. No doubting his ability to swing the bat. There will be a learning curve in left field this season. As we know by now, he never played the outfield heading into this year, and yesterday looked tentative, pursuing a ball down the line in the 4th. Wasn't able to come up with a ball off the monster in the 5th yesterday. You saw that play out there. Ramirez said after the game yesterday he feels fine in the outfield, and John Farrell not concerned either. The manager knows it will take some time, and he's got to get more reps. And then more reps he gets, more comfortable he'll be.
That ball seemed to carry better than it first looked there from Flaherty, but did grab the wall. And again, Hanley Ramirez not playing it cleanly off the wall up over his head, and that's one thing that he has had trouble with, has been the ricochets off the wall. Flaherty ends up at second with his second hit, 3rd time he's been on.
I think one thing we have to remember is we got spoiled the last couple of years watching Brock Holt move from the infield to the outfield, and also watching Mookie Betts, excuse me, move from the infield to the outfield. So, and they did it flawlessly. It is not an easy thing to do, and it's going to take Ramirez time.
Caleb Joseph, the batter. Been on 3 times today.
I'm just calling anybody today, aren't I? It doesn't matter. Mookie Davis. You know.
Now that one I can't help you with. Earlier I could help you with who you were confusing Scope for.
Yeah.
But this one, I can't help you.
No, it's just call. Today's call like anybody day. Anybody.
The 1-2. There's a fly ball out to shallow right field. Out goes Brock Holt. And he'll make the catch. Might have been an easier play for Victorino coming in, but Brock Holt makes the catch over the shoulder for the second out.
Yeah, Holt was calling for that all the way, and I agree. It would have been probably an easier play for Victorino, but he was committed to making that catch, and he did. Tough time in the afternoon where the sun is shining bright at second base and right field. Brock Holt was calling for that the whole way.
Flaherty at second base, 2 down. Everett Cabrera. Swing and a miss. Cabrera 1 for 4. Reached on an infield hit in the 6th inning. And he came around to score the 7th Baltimore run. They lead it 8-3, batting here in the 7th inning. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Red Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss to end the inning as Cabrera strikes out Breslow with 3 Ks in 2 innings. It's 8-3 Baltimore. Jerry, that was brought to you by Southwest.com.
Red
Sox baseball.
What about tomorrow? We're going to be on at 11, right?
I can tell you about that in a moment.
Pre-game show at 10:30. Red Sox game at 11. That's all brought to you by Southwest.
Here's the key to having me read the correct advertisement.
You need promo.
It's to have it, to give it to me.
You need copy.
If I have it, I will read it 10 times out of 10.
Now you're throwing somebody under the bus.
Hold on. Here we go. So Red Sox baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. What I was going to tell you is that tomorrow on an all-new Patriots Day episode of the next Nesson Producer, it's a battle of Comm Ave, and we'll tell you more about that later. But it's coming up. But that's what I had right here.
That's a long read too.
It was, and I went into it. I said tomorrow on an all-new episode, and Patriots is spelled wrong.
You can't memorize that.
No, I can't.
You can't memorize.
No, but the point is, this is not going to work. Southwest Airlines.
Whatever.
Yes, whatever. Well, here is Tommy Hunter on for his second inning of relief. Brock Holt, Mookie Betts, and Daniel Nava expected here in the inning. Tommy Hunter came in the 6th inning, retired all 3 batters he faced in Victorino, Bogarts, and Leon. Now Holt will take strike 1. Miguel Gonzalez started today for the Orioles. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. Walked 4, struck out 5. Chance for his second win of the year. There's a grounder right at Cabrera at shortstop. His throw in time to get Brock Holt. Well, here's today's Coors Timeless Moment. On April 19th, 1945, future Hall of Famer Joe Cronin of the Red Sox breaks his leg running the bases. The injury forces Cronin to retire, but he remains the Red Sox manager until 1947. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Well, that's something new you learn every day.
One down for Mookie Betts. 0 for 3 today.
No, Frank, I did not know that.
Mookie Davis. The 0-1 pitch. As Betts will take it outside. Six in a row. Retired now by Orioles pitching. Red Sox have been held to 3 hits since the first inning, and have just 5 in the game, being out hit 13-5. Nava in the game after David Ortiz had been ejected earlier, and now Betts strikes out. So Hunter been very good out of the pen.
Yeah, he's just coming in and throwing strikes and getting very quick outs here against the Red Sox. Fastball right down the middle against Mookie Betts.
Well, 2 outs, and here is Nava, who inherited a 1-2 count after Ortiz had been ejected, arguing balls and strikes. And grounded out to the third baseman, Manny Machado, in a shift. The Orioles back in a shift here again on Nava. And that's going to miss. Framed there by Joseph. Two and 0. End of the shift, and it's Flaherty in short right field. Throws out Nava, and the Sox are down in order in the 7th. It's to the 8th we go. 8-3 Baltimore. Free furniture and mattresses. If the Sox win the championship this season, it's all free. It's the Monster Repeat, and it's going on now. It's on to the top of the 8th inning. 8-3, Orioles have the lead, out hitting the Red Sox 13-5. And more Craig Breslow. He has worked 2 innings of relief so far, the 6th and the 7th inning, and here he is to begin the 8th. And there is nobody warming in the bullpen behind him. So far, only throwing 25 pitches and a lot of strikes. 19 of the 25 for strikes, 76%. 2, 3, and 4 here for the Orioles. Paredes hits a fly ball to left field. Hanley Ramirez makes the first catch for the first out here of the 8th. Paredes retired. Don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse tomorrow at 10 a.m. TC and Tim Wakefield will have a Patriots Day tribute. One out here in the 8th. Adam Jones coming up. Jones with a 2-run home run in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. Now the bases loaded, doubled in the 6th inning. So 3 hits, 5 RBIs. Now 16 RBIs on the year. Kevin Gausman up in the pen now for the Orioles. After 2 very good innings for Tommy Hunter. Now a ground ball base hit into left field for Adam Jones, his 4th hit of the game.
That's tough to be any warmer than Adam Jones right now. He is on fire. 8-game hitting streak extended to 9 this game. 5 RBIs on the afternoon.
It was his 2nd 4-hit game of the year already. Red Sox into the shift here on Chris Davis. Struck out, doubled, reached on a fielder's choice and scored, and struck out again. Ground ball foul. Now a change in the shift with Pablo Sandoval coming to the right side of the infield. Ball and a strike now to Chris Davis. Delman Young waiting on deck here for the Orioles in the 8th inning. Broken bat, fly ball to right. Victorino coming in and making the catch for the 2nd out of the 8th inning. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC and Tim Wakefield will analyze Rick Porcello's start and have clubhouse reaction. You can't go wrong when you buy right at WB Mason. Two outs, Jones at first and Delman Young. He has popped out, grounded out, walked, and flied out. Flared foul off to the right. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, never forgets that before you're a patient, you're a person. Beth Israel Deaconess, human first. Learn more at bidmc.org/human first. Two down here in the top of the 8th inning. Adam Jones at first. And Delman Young jumping back out of the way of a pitch down and in. Delman Young appearing in 4 postseason games, 2 starts last year for the Orioles. Making the playoffs for the 6th straight year with his 4th different team. This one glancing off the glove of Leon. No advance for Adam Jones at first base.
It's amazing how some guys play a long time and never get to the playoffs at all. And certain players seem to be there every other year.
Popped up. Brock Holt racing over behind first base and in short right to put it away to end the top of the 8th inning. 8-3 Baltimore after 7.5. Printer, but it's twice the speed at half the cost. The HP Office Jet Pro X clocks in at 70 pages per minute. Get yours today for up to 50% off from Who by W.B. Mason. 8-3, Baltimore on top of Boston. As we head here to the bottom of the 8th inning, changes for the Orioles. David Lowe checks in right field. Moving from right to left is Travis Snyder, with Delman Young coming out of the game. New pitcher for the Orioles, Kevin Gausman, his second appearance of the series, 5th of the year. 1-0 with a 9.00 earned run average. Opponents hitting at 308 against the right-hander. He takes over for Tommy Hunter. Hunter retired all 6 Red Sox that he faced in the 6th and 7th innings. Had a strikeout in his 2-inning effort. Hanley Ramirez leading it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And taking ball 1. 97 from Gausman. Ramirez hit a 3-run home run back in the first inning to put the Red Sox at the time on top 3-2. Their only lead of the contest. They have not scored since. And have been held to 3 hits since the first inning. Pitcher of record right now for the Orioles, Miguel Gonzalez. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Ramirez takes the strike.
97 on that last fastball from Gausman.
Ripped foul back into the seats. A little bit low, full count. Mike Napoli, then Pablo Sandoval, anticipated here for Boston in the bottom of the 8th inning. Work to do. Red Sox trailing by 5. Home plate area in the shadows right now. The mound still in the sunshine. And a grounder to first base, picked by Davis in a nice play for the first out of the inning. It's time now for the Geico Red Sox moment. All season long, Geico will highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary. In their 12th game of the 1975 season, the Sox beat the Yankees 11-7. Roger Moret got the win. 3 1/3 innings of relief, and Fred Lynn drove in 4 runs. Fred in the Legends box here this weekend. Looks great as always. Former teammate of yours.
Well, Freddie's kept in great shape, hasn't he?
He has. Looks like he could still play. I'm pretty sure no. There's a strike in there for strike 1 to Mike Napoli.
You were saying that? I missed that. What did you say?
He said he looks like he could play today.
Yeah.
You don't. Napoli waiting on an 0-1 pitch. Pitch inside, 1-1. I was just saying he looks great. Old teammate of yours. It's fantastic. Well, of course he lives in San Diego, right? It's a great place to live. You could probably play still. Don't you feel bad? Strike 2.
What makes you think I could play today when I couldn't play then? I mean, really.
Edward Mujica warming in the Boston pen. Fouled off to the right by Napoli. Husband's still throwing hard, 98 miles an hour. Now working out of the bullpen as a starter. Had to dial it down a little bit, but now coming from the pen can really rear back, and that's exactly what he's doing here. 9 in a row retired by Orioles pitching right now. They'll bounce in.
Last base hit came off the bat of Hanley Ramirez in his last at bat in the 5th inning.
To right field. David Lowe just into the game, able to make the catch on the liner in right for the second out here of the 8th. Good contact for Napoli, but nothing to show for it.
A couple of times today, Napoli's gone to the opposite field. Once for a base hit back in the 3rd inning. That ball hit very hard, but right at Lowe, who just came into the ball game defensively. Sinking line drive, but an excellent jump by Lowe.
Two down for Pablo Sandoval. Has walked and grounded out twice. Fly ball down the left field line. Snyder heading over, but that's going to be off the wall. Snyder plays the carom well barehanded, and it's thrown to second base. Sandoval will just get in safely. Head first dive there to the bag at second. Breaks up a string of 10 in a row retired by Orioles pitching.
And that's living a little dangerously right there. You got the ball off the wall and down by 5 runs, and it takes a head first slide to be in safe at second base. Again, you know, you talk a lot about that wall, and it takes some adjusting not only defensively, but if you haven't played in this park a lot offensively, it takes some adjusting too. And that time it almost caught Sandoval, but he's able to get in safely at second base.
In scoring position with 2 down for Shane Victorino. Nicely played out there by Snyder in left. As Victorino takes strike 1. Sandoval at second, 2 outs here in the Boston 8th inning. Swing and a miss for Victorino. Strikes out to end the 8th. We head for the 9th with Baltimore on top 8-3. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare on southwest.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. Audi. Experience the all-new Audi A3 today. DraftKings. And the series sponsorship presented by Chevrolet. Back at Fenway Park, where the Orioles hold an 8-3 lead over the Red Sox, out hitting Boston 14-6. And a new Boston pitcher, Edward Mujica. His 6th appearance, 1-0. The 3.18 earned run average. 5 strikeouts, no walks. Opponent sitting at 238 against Mujica. Threw an inning and a third, scoreless with 1 hit and a strikeout on Friday night against the Orioles. And stranded 2 inherited runners for Joe Kelly in the 6th inning of that game. And he takes over for Craig Breslow. Outstanding work from Breslow. 3 shutout innings, giving up 2 hits, had 3 Ks. And logged some innings there for the Red Sox, and they needed it. Travis Snyder started the game as the right fielder, now the left fielder for the Orioles. Leading it off here in the 9th. Ground ball right side at Brock Holt. 1 down here in the 9th inning. Celebrity Cruises, the official cruise line of the Boston Red Sox. Join Red Sox legends Louis Tion, Jim Rice, Steve Lyons, and more on January 9th as they sail the Caribbean on Celebrity's 2016 Red Sox Fan Cruise. Space is limited. Call 1-888-727-4907 or contact your travel agent today. 1 out here in the 9th for Manny Machado. Machado striking out in the 2nd, singled, stole a base in the 4th, sac fly in the 5th, and then struck out in the 7th. Pops it up foul, out of play. Ryan Flaherty on deck. Of course, we play morning baseball here tomorrow. Justin Masterson on the mound for the Red Sox as Leon gets his mask taken right off on that foul ball.
And tomorrow's one of those days where both clubs just report to the ballpark, put on their uniform, do a little stretching, and go out and play. Leon getting shaken up a little bit here at the end of the game. Justin Masterson getting the early start.
Matched up against left-hander Wei-Yin Chen, going for the Orioles. Masterson will be looking for his 2nd win, 1-0, 3.00 earned run average. Did he go? They check. No, he did not, says Andy Fletcher. Foul backhand to our right. On the hook today for the Red Sox, Rick Porcello. 5 plus 12 hits, 8 runs. Walked 3, struck out 6, came into the game 1-1 into his 3rd start in a Red Sox uniform. Now a liner to left field, and this quickly will get to the wall in a hop. Ramirez over to play it. Machado throws the brakes on as there's a long single with 1 out in the 9th inning.
It's one of the few split-fingered fastballs that haven't been good recently for Mujica. That one stayed up in the zone. He's been throwing a lot of splits his last couple of outings, and they've been very good. That one just stayed a little bit flat, and down in the corner goes Machado.
One out, one on, and Ryan Flaherty coming up. Flaherty with a good day today. Homered back in the second inning. Walk, flied out, and doubled. A couple of hits, a walk, and a run batted in. His second home run of the year. Line down the right field line, foul. High for a ball, 1-2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, Bogarts, Leone, and Brock Holt expected to bat in the ninth. Fouled straight back, still 1-2. All 2 strikes to Ryan Flaherty. On the ground towards shortstop. Could be 2 to second for 1. On to first. It is 2. And it ends the top of the ninth inning. We head to the bottom of the ninth. 8-3. Baltimore on top. David Ortiz early on in the game in the first inning thought he had ball 4, but he goes around according to Jerry Meals. Fast forward later on in the game in the fourth inning when David checks his swing again and appeared to do so, but Jerry Meals rings him up again this time. Big Papi boils over and the John Tumpain, the home plate umpire at the time, ejected him from the game. Today's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. As Gonzalez going the first 5 innings, Red Sox got to him in the first, but he settled down. Big day for Adam Jones. 4 for 5 with home run and 5 RBIs. Nick Porcello on the hook. 5 innings, 8 runs. Xander Bogaerts leading it off. Bogaerts has struck out, grounded out twice. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. 1-1. Bogarts, Leone, and Holt expected to bat in the inning. Trailing by 5 and being out hit here 15-6. Three and one. Kevin Gausman coming into the game in the 8th. Back out there trying to finish it up here in the 9th. His 3-1 pitch. Bogarts take it for strike 2. Popped up, foul ground. Chris Davis backpedaling into foul ground to make the catch for the first out of the 9th inning. Let's take a look at the Toyota play of the game with the bases loaded, and Adam Jones at the plate in the 6th inning. He'll clear him with his double out to left center field. Scores 3 Orioles and puts Baltimore on top as they are right now, 8-3. And part of his 5 RBI day.
Many people in baseball hotter than Adam Jones right now.
Going down here in the 9th, Sandy Leone, the batter. Leone struck out in the 2nd, walked in the 4th, grounded out in the 6th inning. Skips by, and it's ball 2, 2-1. Osmond's been anywhere from 97 to 98 since coming into this game. Top of the order, Brock Holt on deck, 1 down in the Boston 9th inning. Fouled off to the left, and it evens at 2-2.
It's amazing how many guys come out of the bullpen now with 95 plus miles an hour of fastballs. It's incredible.
I really noticed it last year in the postseason too. The guys come.
It was very evident. Kansas City Royals.
Yes. Up and away for ball 3, full count. Fly ball, foul, off to the left, out of play. Another foul. Leone hanging tough here. 3-2 again. 8th pitch of the at bat. And a fly ball to left field. Travis Snyder makes the catch. 2 down in the 9th inning. And it'll take something from Brock Holt if we are to continue today. Holt had a single way back in the 1st inning. Most productive inning of the game for the Red Sox. A 3-run home run by Hanley Ramirez, which at the time put the Red Sox on top 3-2. Holt since then has struck out, lined out, and grounded out. And he'll take ball 1, skipping in. And the Orioles dropping the first game of the series and out away from taking their 2nd straight game of this series. 1-1. Holt straightens up on a pitch in at 96. Two and two. Miguel Gonzalez today for 5. Tommy Hunter for 2. And Kevin Gausman trying to go 2. Mookie Betts waiting on deck. Little tapper back towards the mound. Gausman fields and throws, and that is the ball game. And the Orioles holding on to beat the Red Sox today 8-3, and they take game 3 of the series. The Red Sox tomorrow will be looking to gain a split in this series, and what a start to the year for Adam Jones. Had a tremendous day here against the Red Sox. Ends up with 5 RBIs and a home run. The Orioles win at 8-3 as we send it to Tom Caron.